make this an especially meaningful conversation for you today?
I just I'm confused on what to do, especially I actually asked you yesterday if it was worth it for me to take it in November if I'm going to be taking it in October. Like, is it possible for me to make any kind of progress in that month? Because I've been studying since June and I've seen a big jump. So I'm like, is it even possible for me to do that? So I guess just seeing what kind of tips, what kind of methods I could do to maybe get it in a month,
Sure.
something like that.
Sure. So back to the question of you already have one test date scheduled a few weeks from now. You're wondering if you should also take it next month as well. And could that additional month make another difference? Could you make further improvements then? My answer is, of course, you can always improve. And you can improve less in one day than you can in 1 week. And you can improve less in 1 week than you can in 1 month. But 1 month is a lot of time, especially if you're studying 10, 15, 20 hours a week. Multiply that by 4, you could be doing 80 hours in a month. And that's a lot of time.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. So I'm definitely thinking about it. I know they just extended it till October 15, I believe.
Right.
So I think I'm gonna do it. I really am. I don't know if it's like my self-doubt that's making me do this, or it's because if I should do it or if I shouldn't. I'm like asking everybody, like, they're like, oh, but if you think you're confident for October, don't even bother. And I'm like, well, it's not that I'm not confident. It's just, it's good to have a safety net sometimes. So I was wondering if it's that, even if it is my self-doubt or anything, like, should I let that stop me? Should I still continue to?
Well, that additional test registration, having another test already secured for yourself could give you peace of mind. Even if you don't actually take that test, the fact that you have another opportunity to take the exam again could help reduce the stress for the upcoming exam.
That's actually you're right, definitely. Like, just having that, just the fact that I know I could have an opportunity will take that whole stress off of me, and I won't worry about it during the first attempt. So I'm like, I can see how it could definitely be beneficial. Like, for me, I'm kind of nervous and excited. It's like so many different emotions, but I'm ready. I'm definitely ready.
Good. And the other thing I want to add is that there's always a reason to retake, because through luck alone, you could do a couple of points better.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, and just a couple of points is worth it. It's the difference between a 156 and then a 160, like 4 points that I could just make right there. So it's just like, like, I don't see. No, so I'm ready, and I think I'm going to do it probably either today or tomorrow. I just got paid today, so that's definitely really good.
Good. Yeah, it's well worth it. Even $200 on a test registration, I know it's a lot, especially if you don't even need it. But if that confidence gets you just a point or two more on the LSAT, and if it pushes you up into the 160s, that could make a big difference in terms of the law schools you get into.
Exactly.
With the scholarship money that you get.
Exactly. That's why, I'm definitely going to do it. So I'm just excited to talk about with you because, being from a first generation, I don't have a lot of resources and a lot of people I can actually ask and get actual information from, that people who actually know about this and like went through it. So it's so awesome that you do these calls. Really, it really is.
No, of course. I'm glad to help, Why not?
Exactly.
So what does your plan look like over the next few weeks between now and the test?
So I have been drilling a lot of my weaknesses, especially in logical reasoning, which are mostly weekend questions and also flaw questions. So that's just how I'm looking right now. And I have also been timing myself, and I have seen an improvement. I've gone from like 13 right to about 18, 19. And that's due more to me focusing on just being accurate instead of being fast, because I used to just like try to rush through it and try to just get as many. But I realized that if I my strategy is, if I get first 15 right and good, I can swing my way with another 3, 4, or 5. So that's how it is for now. And I'm actually kind of scared, because I'm really good at logic games when it's not timed. You know, I know my inferences and I can get it right. And I know, I know it's going to happen that when I time myself, I won't get it as quickly. But I'm telling myself, like, you know, sometimes you have to fail in order to succeed. So I have to deal with the failure of not getting them all right and then understand why and try to fix it. So that's probably my biggest problem right now because I'm so good at them. So I feel like I'll feel so bad when I time myself and it's not as good. I was like, what can I do to kind of like get over that? You know, trying to like.
Yeah, Rachel. So between now and next week, I want you to get at least 50 logical reasoning questions wrong. Get 50 wrong. If you're getting them right, it means they're too easy.
I know.
The value in doing these questions is not to measure your results and feel good about them. That's a side benefit that happens sometimes. The real benefit is in getting questions wrong and having struggles with questions so that you can learn from your mistakes.
Exactly. No, definitely.
If you're getting everything right, it means they're too easy.
It means they're too easy. That's what I'm telling myself. I'm like, I have to fail. I have to get them wrong so then I can really sit down and see, why did I get this wrong? What way of thinking did I have that led me to this wrong answer? And what can I do to smash that wrong way of thinking and fix it? So yeah, definitely. Actually that's what I do because I work 9 to 5. So during my lunch breaks, I'm studying, and then I study 2 hours after work at a library nearby. So I'm trying to see how I can make the little time that I do have more effective and more, you know, more worthwhile for me to, because I have my last prep test I took, I got a 159, which is my highest I've ever gotten. But the one I took before that was a 154, and the one before that was a 157. So my scores are going up and down. So I'm like, how can I just like make sure that it stays consistent and like what I do is effective? And I'm trying to.
Sure. Yeah. Scores fluctuate, and that's natural. It's natural. They are rarely consistent. There's a margin of error or a score band of 3.5 points on either end. And so one reason I said to retake it a month from now is that through luck alone, you could do 3 to 4 points better. If your understanding does not improve at all, you could go 3 to 4 points on either end. But because schools only take the highest score, there's no downside to retaking. But what those fluctuations mean is that for your practice tests, they'll fluctuate wildly. In fact, I've never had a student whose scores don't fluctuate. It's natural. It could be due to the idiosyncrasies of a particular exam. Maybe one exam had tough games, one had tough reading comp, one had a tough topic you didn't like, and it, of course, it also play to your strengths, and that's natural. And so I wouldn't worry too much about it. I would say if you really want to know where you stand, take the average of the most recent 5 exams and see what that looks like.
Yeah, that's definitely. Okay, that sounds good.
Awesome. But aside from that, I wouldn't worry too much about the scores themselves. Focus on getting the questions wrong and reviewing, learning from your mistakes, getting those patterns ingrained.
Exactly.
So that you can improve for the future.
All right. That's amazing. Thank you so much for that advice. It's really awesome.
Of course, my pleasure. What else would be helpful for you today?
Definitely about the digital. The digital LSAT has the last practic I took was the digital one. So I do like it. I like it because it's much faster. I don't have to waste time bubbling in. But I did hear a lot. My friend took it in September, and she told me that there was a problem a lot with like the glare and like the screen and like. So I'm like, I'm just nervous. Like, how can I like really get ready for it? And that's what I'm trying to say. Like,
yeah,
really
sure. And those are valid concerns. And so the digital LSAT, like anything else, there's a mix of pros and cons. I agree. The bubbling, super fast now. That's really nice. I also love how it grays out when you eliminate a choice. You can collapse choices also.
Just like take it out completely, so I don't even have to work. I don't even have to look at them anymore. Just boom, they're out. I did enjoy that really much.
Yeah, it's great. Now with the glare, it's a valid concern. Happens a lot. So when you first enter the test center on test day, you want to look up at the ceiling and see, are there harsh fluorescent lights?
And I have glasses, so you know my glasses.
Yeah.
So we have to work on that. Exactly.
I feel you on that. Yeah. So when you walk in, check out the light situation above you. Check out how it reflects off the tablet screen the second they give you a tablet.
Yeah.
If it's glaring a lot, ask the proctors if they can move you before the test starts. Don't wait till the timer begins before saying, oh, this is actually an issue. So that's the first thing you want to look out for.
Exactly. No, definitely.
Now, there's supposed to be a certain angle at which you hold the tablet. Enforcement of that varies. Some people tilt it more than others. You'll see what enforcement's actually like and see what's considered okay. But ultimately, I would suggest if you can get moved away from where there's a light directly above you. That's when the reflections happen. Exactly. The other thing is, with regard to the tablets themselves, I want you to be on the lookout for the highlighting and underlining functions. They're not that responsive with the stylus. Ooh. And I don't think they're that useful anyway, honestly. And so
I didn't use it at all.
The stylus reports were pretty universal that the stylus is not that great. So I would suggest not counting on that. Get ready to use your finger, and don't trust that can never fail you, right? And also, don't really rely on the highlighting and underlining at all. I don't think they're that useful anyway. I would just do your work on the scratch paper on the side.
Yeah, that's when I took it on Sunday. That's exactly what I did. I didn't even bother pressing it. I was just like, although in the logical reasoning, I felt for some reason I didn't have to write anything. Like I told you, it was much faster. Like I get like an extra few seconds on the questions because you don't have to bubble it in. That it was just easier for me. I think in one of the sections I got like 19 right, and the other one I got 21.
Oh wow, so that's great.
Yeah, so I feel, but on the paper ones I always get like 18, 17. So I'm like, oh, like I think it's like those extra few seconds in every single question that had given me a little boost. So I definitely enjoyed that. And I just feel like with the stylus and the highlighting, it's just gonna get too much. Like I could just read, you know. And if I understand what I read, I got it, you know.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, keep that momentum going. And also, I don't think you really need to diagram that much in logical reasoning at all.
Exactly. You don't really need to. It's mostly like you really need the scratch paper for the logic games. That's really the only difference. I have to do the games on the actual piece of paper now. So I'm gonna definitely have to practice on that.
Awesome. Great. So Rachel, that's about it for today. What would you say is the biggest insight you got from our call today?
Just you giving me advice, and I feel like you really took the time to understand what I was trying to say and give me the advice that's really for me, you know, like very personalized and very, very, I loved it. Awesome. Thank you so much. No, thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.